I'm saying fun episode is now live.
All right, we are live. Fun episode.
Yeah, Doug's
I've
back.
been gone for a while myself.
And I've
Welcome
been
back, Doug.
here and there, so we're back.
Hey, yeah, Matt may join us eventually.
Yeah.
Who could care though? Welcome to the NOLAnerds, episode 74. I'm Chris.
I'm Josh.
I'm Doug.
All right.
We're going to talk about things because it's a slow week and everything yet again because that's just how the July rolls. But Spider-Man.
Yeah, did everyone see Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yes, fantastic.
So I thought it was really great.
Yeah. There's like, it's one of those things where like I've experienced this a few times over the course of seeing lots of comic book movies. Is that eventually they put out one where you're like, oh, that's it, and you realize you've been settling for as close as you were gonna get for this entire time.
And that's true.
I think Spider-Man 2 is probably still the best Spider-Man movie, right? But like, this one is the most Spider-Man I've ever felt while watching one.
It was funny. It was funny and it was enjoyable. And Michael Keaton is just God.
But yeah,
Michael Keaton's amazing.
Best villain since Loki that they've had in the MCU.
Yeah.
As far as like, I want him back. I want there to be that caliber of person in the entire Sinister Six sort of feeling.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was just enjoyable, and the Iron Man being in the movie was enjoyable. The suit.
Everybody was serving a purpose. It didn't feel like they shoehorned Iron Man in.
Yeah. And
it didn't feel like the spots where the Avengers popped up were forced in there. Like so many other movies recently, it felt like the tie-in stuff have just been shoved up the movie's ass. This felt part of the story. Like it was really organic.
The opening scene with Peter Parker with his cell phone and just the web video of him being excited about everything.
What I like is that there's two scenes back to back. The Vulture scene when they're doing the cleanup after Avengers 1. And then the scene with him videoing the Civil War stuff orient you in time, like within the universe. Yeah. So like, you know, when the Vulture stuff started, Peter's been growing up the whole time, and then like the Civil War thing. Okay, we're starting right after that, and this movie kind of takes place. I feel like probably between scenes in Civil War.
I think it's post Civil War.
Yeah, it has to be post Civil War because there was a scene when they're driving back and Iron Man's all beaten up and like Tony's.
Yeah, but I think that's after the airport scene.
Okay, so there was.
And then I think at some point during the movie we're supposed to see that the Cap stuff has happened.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's when you get that joke. I'm pretty sure this dude's a war criminal.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And all that, because all that's happening really fast for Cap. And then Tony comes back at the end of Civil War. I'd have to rewatch it again.
He's busy.
So
he's busy.
But yeah.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed it for the most part. I think my biggest issue may actually be Tony Stark. I'm kind of getting tired of Robert Downey Jr. go through the motions in these.
Yeah, I can see it like he kind of phoned it in a little on this one compared to other movies.
And he's so very good at being this Tony Stark.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have to do a whole lot.
No. He showed up for a couple of days, shot that, and left. Probably made every word he said.
But it also feels like that was the Iron Man role he was playing too. He just fit perfectly. Like, just come on in, just do this. He's like, all right, whatever, I'll do it. Yeah. I mean, but I like it too. Like, he is a minor character in the movie. You know, this isn't an Iron Man movie with Spider-Man in it. The opposite, and he kind of felt like that level of actor in the movie. He didn't really show up the way he usually would, which was a good thing.
So some certain extent, phoning it in was fine, and also like it's a baton pass to Spider-Man being like the obvious new lead of the MCU after.
I think Tom Holland was really excellent in this.
Oh, he
fantastic!
Was great. Can we also talk about his friend?
Well, yeah, but I think one of the things that works about Tom Holland's casting, I wanted to mention. First of all, he's got he's got this huge dance background apparently.
Oh, really?
And if you want to check out his lip sync battle, just do it. I don't watch the show, but I watched it, and it It's fucking amazing.
He moves very fluid.
Michael J. Fox feel, which would have been my casting if you were to do an 80s Spider-Man movie. That's the obvious guy. But it felt like Teen Wolf.
Oh,
you know, only you've got a real superhero instead of a werewolf.
Yeah.
You know? And like all the choices about not pulling out the Spider-Man thing like a parlor trick.
Yeah.
You know, and then like also just his likability and the fact that he's going to look like a kid the entire series, even though he's 20.
Got baby face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he perfect.
So what do you think about where he would rank among the Spider-Men?
Oh,
he's my number one.
Yeah, I agree with Doug. He stole the show.
He's the first time I've seen a Peter and a Spider-Man at the same time. Tobey was the best Peter. I thought Garfield did a great job as Spider-Man, but was too cool and over dramatic as Peter. And this is the first time I felt like, okay, that's the kid who's going to be, he looks like the comic book character. He's behaving like Peter when he was in high school. And then when he puts the mask on, I feel like I'm watching Spider-Man. Yeah. So like the whole package is there for me.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think Andrew Garfield got a big disservice from his movies. And I think it's going to shine negatively on him, you know, when we rank Spider-Man in the future.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a bummer because I thought he was a really good Spider-Man, and his movies just didn't deliver.
Yeah, no, especially the second one. The second one was where they could have really hammered it home, and
we were talking about that. But like,
Electro specifically is the worst story I've seen in a while, and it was just a rehash of Batman Forever, like the Riddler arc. So
I think it's funny how they shadow snuck in villains like the Tinkerer and the Shocker, and Scorpion.
Yeah,
just other, and they're about that level where you don't really need a big like
intro form. You just if they're just there, they're there. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
The Shocker thing was really enjoyable because it made his powers work.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that made it work really well. And then we can't really talk much about the Scorpion because that's a spoiler type thing, maybe ish.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say there's, you know, I like the John Hughes approach. I thought everything was tonally dead on for actually doing a Spider-Man movie, and remembering that. Oh yeah, two big things: the debris where he's pushing the debris off him scene is one of the most classic moments in Spider-Man ever. I never thought I'd see that in a movie, and it was probably my favorite part of the whole thing. And then the other thing being like leaving him in high school shows you get the premise because the character was in high school for like 35 years or something before they decided to let him grow up. You know, the character was a kid. That's the point. You know, he was dealing with Fantastic Four and the X-Men and all these other guys, and he was like a kid. He was the youngest guy. So, like, to not let him stay there for a while and skip over it was always like a misstep to me. So
you know what scene I think was the epitome of this movie was when he was locked in the bunker.
Oh my God!
He's going through all the motions, and it turns out it's only been 30 minutes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's the most perfect Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, it's so good.
I liked it. I liked the suit a lot. One thing I enjoyed about this movie was the spider suit.
Yeah, instant kill mode.
It's incredible how much having the eyes open and close really changes everything about the suit.
And it's a quintessential Spider-Man thing that I never thought would get. You know, it's like when Deadpool finally has the white eyes and he looks exactly like Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
Whoa! Like how much does that like really sink you in all of a sudden? Even though who knows what the explanation is for that? These have a perfectly logical explanation, but it's like my favorite part of most Spider-Man art is they make the eyes expressive, which has always been a thing that you couldn't actually accomplish.
Yeah. And
now they're doing it.
And the Deadpool thing is just Deadpool. That's just there's no answers to that.
Yeah, exactly. It also means like the actor gets to act without having to take the mask off 15 times in the movie.
Yeah.
During every dramatic moment. You know?
Yeah.
Takes it off at the end and like when there's a couple of moments where it really deserved it, and then the rest of the time he's Spider-Man. You know, just let him be Spider-Man. Fine.
Yeah.
And plus in the open field shooting the web and
oh my God, favorite moment.
That was great. that whole Ferris Bueller
about that
wonderful.
My whole life. Batman shooting the grappling. Like eventually, I guess Batman just never leaves the city, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're in any area that doesn't have them.
They basically took the video game approach, like, well, you can't swing anywhere here.
Yeah.
Done.
Just run. You have to run.
Just run. Just keep on running.
Anyway.
All right, so let's jump into the news and comics before we jump in anything else. We have our Squirrel Girl and our New Warriors for the Freeform New Warriors and Squirrel Girl show.
Wait, do we have all of the New Warriors?
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. I'm just going to go through the list that they announced. Okay. We have Milana Vaintrub as our Squirrel Girl. She was previously on This Is Us.
Commercials.
Yeah.
Derek Thieler is Mr. Immortal. Jeremy Tandy is Night Thrasher. Caleb Worthy is Speedball. Matthew Moy is Microbe. And Kate Cormer is Debris.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't have like a great knowledge of either the New Warriors or these actors, so I don't know.
Night Thrasher and Speedball are the only two New Warriors I know.
Speedball is the only actor other than Squirrel Girl that I recognize from anything.
Okay.
Squirrel Girl I've seen in the AT&T commercials and in
AT&T Girl?
Yeah.
Which
no shit.
Is that Doug?
Holy shit, Matt's here.
I think
Matt's interrupting us, Matt, with your horrible signal. What are you doing?
I miss you, Doug.
Hi, Matt. We don't have a visual
I
on.
don't know how long I can be on because I am currently driving a giant U-Haul to Vegas.
If you're driving, get off the phone.
Why are you driving a U-Haul to Vegas? Okay, never mind. I'm not asking anymore.
Don't confuse him while he's driving.
Yeah.
Right on the freeway. Okay. So it's fine. Shut up. What are we talking about?
I'm going through the news and no one can hear you.
So.
Oh, what about now?
Squirrel Girl is the AT&T girl. She was also in the show on Amazon that was really good, but was only like the one season. It was like Inner Space or Outer Space.
Oh, that show. The what's his name? The guy that did Ghostbusters, Paul Feig.
Yeah, and it had Joe Hodgson from Mystery Science Theater in it, who designed a couple of robots for it. It was good. Yeah.
Sterling Gates, who was a longtime writer of Supergirl and has written the Smallville comics also, is going to join the writing staff of The Flash for the new year.
Oh, Sterling?
What?
Sterling?
Sterling Gates.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yes, I know. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's my
Good job, Matt. Good job with the chime in.
Matt's helping.
Thank you.
Yes. Gotham by Gaslight is the next DC animated movie.
Gotham. So it's a steampunk Gotham?
It's the steampunk Batman. I'm not real familiar with this, so.
Yeah.
I'm more familiar with the Spider-Man with Noir than I am with that one.
I think I'm more familiar with the aesthetic than the actual story. I don't actually know what it's actually about. Yeah. Erica Durant, who was Lois Lane on Smallville, she's going to be taking over the role of Alara Zor-El in Supergirl.
Zor-El. Character is that?
I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of Supergirl.
Okay, she's replacing someone?
She's replacing someone. I don't know who she's replacing though.
Okay. Well, I like it though because it's stunt casting with all the Superman characters. I don't know why I always get a kick out of it. I'm still waiting for Tom Welling to show up with something.
She's replacing Laura Benanti. She played Supergirl's mom.
Oh, she must be like playing a younger.
No, the actress who played her mom is going to do another production, and Erica's just going to take over.
Okay, that's
just is what it is.
She's that old? That's
who?
Makeup.
Yeah.
Hey, I know everyone's been dying to see the 300 prequel, Xerxes: The Fall of the House of Darius and the Rise of Alexander by Frank Millar.
Nope,
it's coming soon.
Can we pass?
I mean, you don't have to buy it. It's still coming.
Wasn't there like a 301?
No, that was the movie.
There was 300, right?
Yes.
And there was the 300 Part 2.
Yeah, that was the movie.
Okay, and then this is the comic.
This is the prequel.
Okay, I'm bored.
I know you wanted to know the deep lore of Xerxes and his goat man.
No, I don't, because like the real historical Xerxes is more fascinating than the comic book one.
He's more exciting than the 9-foot-tall, heavily pierced man.
Yeah, not even.
Yeah, I agree. We can look forward to Harley and Ivy meeting Betty and Veronica in an Archie crossover coming soon.
Ooh.
That sounds awesome.
Paul Dini, who helped create Harley Quinn, is going to be doing some writing on it, so that should be kind of fun. After 44 years, Mile High Comics will no longer be attending San Diego Comic-Con due to increased floor costs and the lack of foot traffic to it.
Interesting.
It's kind of a bummer because they're one of the dedicated comic retailers, and just kind of getting shuffled off. Jean Collet Serra, who's a Spanish horror film director. I'm not sure if you guys have seen any of his works. As of this moment, he is currently the frontrunner for Suicide Squad 2.
What was his name again?
John Collet Serra.
However you spell that.
So they're making a Suicide Squad 2?
Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad sequel.
Oh. Okay.
Umbrella Academy, the comic series by Gerard Way and Gabriel Ba, is coming to Netflix in live-action form at some point soon.
Oh, I'm into that.
Wow.
I love that book.
I could never get into it, and I tried a couple of times.
Are they going to be?
The second one was way better than the first one.
It's a beautiful book.
On the show, because if he's,
I'm sure he'll show up.
If he's got his hands in the show, then it's probably gonna do really well.
Yeah. Ragman's getting a 6-issue miniseries in October by Ray Fawkes and Inaki Miranda. Jughead as a Werewolf, Jughead the Hunger, will get an ongoing series by Frank Thierry and Pat and Tim Kennedy. You can look forward to the first issue this fall and subsequent issues every year. I'm not bitter about Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Is he going to be like thinking all the humans are hamburgers when he's a werewolf?
Who knows? I don't have any doubt. I don't have any doubt that it's actually going to come out on a consistent basis.
It's probably just for fun, right?
Yeah, Archie Horror, great ideas. Terrible production schedule.
Okay.
Lucy Liu will direct the first episode of Luke Cage, season 2.
Oh, interesting.
That's
interesting. She's been doing a little bit of the elementary directing, so
okay.
Good pretty good.
Good for stretching her arms.
Yeah.
Or Lunas.
The current rumor is that Wonder Woman 2 will take place at some point in the Cold War.
Oh.
And I think
I like that better than jumping straight to modern day, because the more they do in the past, the more I can ignore the rest of the DCU.
Wonder Woman stands alone. Wonder Woman.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that, okay, Joss might be able to salvage Justice League from what it might have been, or just soften some of the fucking murder edges of all the superheroes that I'm sure Zach has.
Murder edges.
They've gotten really murderous.
They just murder everybody. It's a team of murderers. Anyway, and then the Flash, I'm assuming, but the Flash
probably killed 2 murderers so far.
Yeah. The Flash probably kills like 15 people.
The Flash will never. Well,
Zack Snyder's Flash will kill 15 people to prove he's not gay. Now,
what nonsense?
The math is in. The math is in.
Look. Anyway,
finally, DC Comics is continuing its Earth One series, kind of revamping the characters in a way for selling trades. not necessarily for any kind of continuity sake. Green Lantern Earth 1 by Gabriel Hardman, Karina Bechko, and Jordan Boyd, coming out sometime next year.
Okay.
I think the Earth 1 books are kind of hit and miss, frankly, but Green Lantern has some promise, so we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm going to kind of talk about the comics real quick.
Okay. Do it, Chris.
And then we'll talk about some other stuff. Excuse me. I have Dark Days, the casting, #1. We're continuing on the road to the DC Metal. What's happening this year?
Understand, and I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, can you break down the DC Metal thing? Because
so here's what I can tell you about it.
Okay.
After reading this issue, #1, I have no fucking clue what it's about.
Okay.
#2, it's pretty cool, so I'm willing to kind of ride with it.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's I just needed to know that I'm not the only person who doesn't understand what the fuck, that they haven't necessarily explained themselves yet. Like
the nearest thing I can tell is that there is a magic metal in the earth.
Yes.
And something demons. Something army of bat people.
Something dark side. Yeah.
Yes.
Like.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting okay. I know there's a thing where like Fate's helmet and like the Trident or some shit, and like Nth metal, which is what like Deathstroke's outfit is made of, that heals itself and shit. Like all the weird metals are somehow tied together in this.
Yes. I don't know anything about it. I can't tell you heads or tails about it. I do know that it's pretty cool, and I had a ton of fun reading it.
Oh, and the what did you call it? The tower that killed Flash like a long time ago. The Anti-Monitor.
Yes.
Tower showed back up.
Yes.
So something having to do with that as well.
I don't know. It's pretty cool.
But Barry has to run around like he's planning on destroying everything.
It was in the Crisis.
Okay.
And so that's where Barry dies, because he runs as fast as he can. And
and explodes, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a really good moment.
I have Unbeatable Squirrel Girl #22, Squirrel Girl in the Savage Land. This is basically Ryan North going to write about dinosaurs for 20 pages.
Is it good?
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And it makes me wish the Savage Land was in fact a real place on Earth.
That'd be awesome.
I have Deadly Class #29, dipping its toes back into autobiographical waters, with seemingly Rick Remender talking about how punk is going to be homogenized in 10 years from 1989.
Which was true.
Because the whole scene is a discussion between a metalhead and a punk, and the metalhead says, "Well, metal's gone. Metal's been homogenized. It's going to happen to punk," and the punk says, "No way. Punk's going to live forever."
Yeah.
Little autobiographical there.
It never does.
I have Killer Be Killed #10.
Ooh, how is Killer Be Killed coming? Because I'm only reading that in trade, so
it's. We're at a kind of a lull. Not a lot of killing in this issue.
Okay.
But they're setting dominoes to go down.
Okay.
And I find that almost more exciting, especially because it's being told from a future tense.
Oh, interesting.
So he'll talk about someone who saw him somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. He's like, but she didn't suspect me until later.
Huh.
So that's kind of really interesting to watch this develop. Jean Grey #4. Jean Grey seeks out the previous Thor Odinson for advice on how to fight the Phoenix.
Huh.
And they fight orcs, and it was awesome.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Old Man Logan with probably the weakest issue so far, dealing with this time-displaced Hulk gang stealing nukes. Yeah. Spider-Man 2, the second series with Miles Morales and Peter Parker teaming up to have adventures. and supposedly the origin of the Earth 616 Miles Morales, who we haven't seen.
Oh, that's right. There'd be a Miles on.
Yeah, that was the big finale of Spider-Man 1.
Thought about that.
Is Peter Google's Miles Morales is like, oh my god, and that was like 7 years ago, and now we're like, what happened to the Miles Morales of the main Earth? Weapon X #5, continuing the hunt for Weapon X, is a lot of fun. This book has got like team banter and superheroics down to a pact.
Okay.
Nice.
It's incredible, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Josie and the Pussycats, number 8. Josie and the Pussycats go to Japan and have adventures. And their concert's interrupted by jewel thieves, as it always is.
I love how if you do a synopsis of any Archie book coming out right now, it sounds like any Archie book that came out like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds lame. Sounds made for another, like, outdated whatever. Then you actually read the books, and they're like insanely good. It's just
I gave you the bare bones summary.
Yeah.
But there's also like a lot of stuff with Alan M. and Alexandra Cabot, and the Archies are also there, and there's a lot of drama.
It's all about execution. Yeah.
It's pretty great.
That's what Hitler's.
I
have Detective Comics number 960. Zatanna kind of telling Batman he could discover some truth about the metal, but maybe not, to drive him crazy.
The metal.
Yeah, we're subtly tying in the metal.
The metal.
Question number 2, Chris.
Yeah.
What's going on with the whole button thing? That's over?
Oh, that's over. I don't know. We won't know about that more until November. But if I had to assume, the metal ties in with the button.
It probably does. And then Superman will fight him. Your audio went out.
Oh no! Is it still out?
No, it's on, but it's
really
low.
Yeah.
Damn.
There you go.
All right.
So
the metal.
The metal is going to tie into the button, which is going to tie into
Superman.
Whatever's afterwards.
The Bat family?
No, Superman fights Dr. Manhattan, eventually.
That's the only thing that makes sense, right?
No, I mean, literally that's been announced.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
that happens in November, so the metal is happening like before then.
So does Superman need the metal to fight?
I'd imagine he's going to need something because there's no fucking way. I don't care what you are. I don't care how many powers you got. You're made of atoms.
Yeah, you're fighting a god. He could be like, oh, I'm so bored. I'm done.
You're pudding now.
Can you hear me?
Here.
No more Superman.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know.
No, now we can't hear you. Oh, well.
DC is going to be... finally, I have The Flash number 26.
Okay.
Basically, the Reverse Flash says that Barry Allen is a liar and the worst person on Earth, and Barry has to agree to it. Because it's true.
Well, he's kind of right.
He's mostly right, because Reverse Flash says, hey, Barry... you know how you never told anyone you were the Flash and you decided lying to them was way better? And Iris is there, and Iris is like, oh my god, you have been lying to me for years.
I just didn't know because you're so fast.
I didn't know because you were such a good liar.
Because you're awful.
Yeah. Basically. So that's where the Flash ends up at. Yeah, and that's all the comics for the week.
Yeah. All right.
Now we got a question on the chat.
Ooh. Let's do it.
There's an article on the Associated Press saying that comedies are falling victim to the superhero genre at the theaters. Agree or disagree?
Disagree. Comedies are failing due to absolute stagnation in style and a drift away from actually writing a fucking script.
And this is why school and education is important, children.
Well, like, okay. Everything's being done in that Will Ferrell design style fucking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Where you don't write a script, you invite 17 comedians to basically improv based on a skeletal structure. And Judd Apatow's really good at directing those types of movies, but almost nobody else does.
But he's also the problem.
And the Anchorman guy, right? But those two guys are really good directors, and they are also good at improv. But basically, editors have to piece these things together. There's no good shots anymore. There's no cinematography. There's no screenwriting involved. So eventually, all that's going to wear thin, and that's what's happening. Also, none of the people who popularized that style are working in it anymore.
Yeah.
So when Will Ferrell does a movie, it even isn't. It's old. It's old hat. Like, I don't want to see it anymore. I'm tired of those movies. I'm tired of these guys. Like, mix it up.
There's some better comedians out there, but comedy is elsewhere. Netflix has some really nice comedy.
And
series.
superhero movies got funny, but they always want to blame like superhero movies for everything. But if you were doing a good movie, people go see it.
Yeah, that's true.
They have some movies, some recent bombs from comedies. You know, Baywatch.
Yeah.
Snatched, The House, and Chips.
Yeah, but all of that is kind of like Baywatch is an old TV show.
They're all trying to do 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
And 21 Jump Street shouldn't have done 21 Jump Street. 21 Jump Street should have bombed. But, like, something about Channing Tatum being funny, like, picked his career back up and made the movie work.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have worked, except that it did. That's lightning in a bottle. It really was, like, repeating that ad nauseum. And it's clearly like it's another case of them not understanding what worked, because they're like, let's do all these properties the same way. You know, like, let's do Baywatch. Let's bring up all of our old TV properties. Nobody gives a fuck about Chips. Like, nobody gives a fuck about 21 Jump Street. That's why they did it like a comedy, and it only mattered because they pulled it off. Because Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum have good chemistry.
Yeah.
But, like, that's what you should be making another movie with them that isn't 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to remember is comedies are all lightning in a bottle. Like, you can't predict a comedy.
You can't put them of a factory the way they've been doing. Like, those string of Will Ferrell movies and stuff like that did well. They do well because that guy's on a hot streak. Adam Sandler was on a hot streak for a little while.
Yeah.
But you can't just keep pumping out movies just like his.
But also
he's the comedian,
and that's also the problem too with comedies. If you look at the history of of comedies in film, they don't happen as much as they're happening nowadays. They would happen after you'd have so many dramas happening, you had so many movies happening, and the next thing you know, Airplane comes out, and no one knows what it's about. Yeah, and Blazing Saddles comes out,
and you get like these crews that come together, right? They're like a package deal. So like the whole old school crew has been making these comedies for like 20 years. But eventually it gets stale. It's just like all the SNL cast members that were making movies throughout the 80s and just hitting it. And then eventually it just runs out of steam. The comedy is about surprise. They cannot surprise me anymore.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell cannot surprise me anymore. John C. Reilly cannot surprise me as a comedian anymore. It was surprising when he first did it because he was a dramatic actor. Now it's like, worn out.
You just need new comedians, you need new writers, and I really
need a writer at all.
Yeah,
because a new writer would let them do something new. When they're writing it on the set, it's going to be the same jokes.
Yeah,
you're going to run out of material.
Yeah,
I think the important thing to remember: Mel Brooks couldn't be Mel Brooks forever.
Yeah,
no,
the Zuckers couldn't be the Zuckers forever.
No.
Yeah, Love Stinks eventually came out. Dracula Dead.
Adam K can't be Adam K forever.
Yeah. I mean,
so we just gotta.
He's doing movies now. So
yeah, superhero genres are killing other things, but they're not killing comedies. Comedies are kind of vampires. They'll come back. They just got to find the right one.
Look, people like to blame superhero movies and act like this is an aberration, but.
100
years ago, it was gladiator movies.
Yeah.
And then during the 80s, it was Commando and Rambo. Those are the same greased up, shirtless man movies. It's always the same pattern, and they
50 for westerns.
Yeah, they balloon in budget and they make millions and millions of dollars at the box office, but they do not kill culture. You can always dig under. You can find John Carpenter. You can find indie films being made. Like, it's happening still right now. This is the ebbs and the tides of the industry. We'll get a new indie wave after the superheroes crash finally. Yeah. It'll probably be at Warner Brothers' hands or Fox.
Yeah. No, Fox Searchlight would probably lead the indie wave.
No, I mean like they'll destroy the superheroes.
Oh, Warner Brothers is definitely going to destroy it. Like we were saying,
I mean, like maybe this next X-Men is going to be like a fucking death knell. Maybe them doing a new Fantastic Four. Yeah. That's what I'm really worried about. It's not just letting Fantastic Four go.
Yeah.
It wears it out every time. It wears out. Everybody gets a little more tired, you know. But eventually the fatigue will happen. Marvel might survive it, but nobody else will. And then we'll get a slew of we'll get a new Miramax. It'll probably be A24. It's already happening.
Yeah.
You looked at A24's website, every fucking movie that has even piqued your interest that wasn't a superhero movie the past like 10 years has been A24. They're really good. And they're basically Miramax, and they're going to get more clout as it goes on. And then we're going to get a boom of like, here's all your new filmmakers that you've never heard of.
Because superhero movies were being made and really bad comedies were being made.
Gladiator movies were like got huge. They lasted for like 30 years until the budgets got so big. You're getting those biblical epics. Yeah. If they didn't do $1 billion equivalent of the time, then the whole studio might collapse. And that's what we're gonna get, right? Infinity War is gonna set a new standard. As soon as one of the other companies tries to do that shit,
it's going to bring them down.
It could bring down a whole studio. So they're going to have to learn their lesson. And that's when we got Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and Brian De Palma. All out of the same, they're all friends with each other. And they all got hired out of like the same film school. And to do low budget movies. Star Wars was, believe it or not, a low budget like crapshoot. And it was American Graffiti was the first one. But you know what I mean? The second movies is where they all blew the fuck up. Jaws, Star Wars, Godfather, and I forget Brian De Palma's second movie, but it was like, you know, it was one of the big ones.
If we can make a movie that's maybe half as good as The Godfather out of the superhero collapse, then the last decade's been worth it.
It's worth it, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, we'll get it. It's gonna happen. Like one of these guys, like the guys we're doing, like Ben Wheatley. We did this movie I just watched, Free Fire. It's an A24 movie, but it had like she was playing Captain Marvel. The tall guy who played I forget everybody's name all of a sudden. It's an all-star cast, and it's just one long shootout. The whole movie is a gun deal gone bad. Sharko Copley's in it, and it's just one long shootout. It's clever. It's nice. I mean, it's not mind-blowing. But I'm betting you one of these guys, like the guy who did The Witch, the guy who did all of those fucking Moonlight, was them. So they finally got an Oscar.
Yeah, so they're gonna get
they're gonna get more money. They're gonna be able to do Oscar bait, which is gonna produce your Pulp Fictions and your like all the Miramax stuff that came out.
Let me ask you this, guys. Going on to video game stuff, have you seen the Castlevania Netflix series?
I haven't started it yet, but I'm really excited.
I have not, and I'm really excited about starting it.
I am about halfway through with it, and it reminds me a lot of Vampire Hunter D, the newer one.
Is it a lot like Vampire Hunter D?
Animation-wise, very much so.
Oh, cool. Okay.
That's a good approach.
Yeah.
The story, you know, I'm only about halfway through it. It's very much in tone with what Castlevania is about. Belmont's, Dracula's, whipping.
That sounds got all these Draculas in the house. Let's go whip them.
My name is Twilight, and I have
Yeah, basically. But the animation's very much of that Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust movie. And that's a great thing because that movie's gorgeous looking.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
And it's also like that animation style is evocative of a vampire like hunter story. So It just makes sense.
Even the first Vampire Hunter D, as 80s as it is, still looked great.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is at least the first episode or first two were Warren Ellis that wrote this.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, because they're talking that they're going to do Assassin's Creed next or another season of this.
Wait, if Ellis doing Assassin's Creed would be perfect.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's doing Assassin's Creed, but because of this, they will do Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, and that would be better as a cartoon.
Yeah.
I can already say. Well, it would be a better series than a movie anyway. So cartoon is
cartoon works better with it.
That's great. All
right. Video game news.
I guess I don't actually know. So let's just talk about what we played this week before we wrap up.
Okay.
What have you played?
I've been playing Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind since I got it on for cheap for $30, and it plays just like the other Elder Scrolls Online games. Like all the other quests, it all plays the same. It's a little bit prettier. It's touched up a lot. The new class is really enjoyable. The Warren class is really cool because it's like a battle shaman type class. It's fun to play around with. And it's good because I like Elder Scrolls Online because you can actually solo it, or you can play just like a traditional MMORPG where you can play with others. But I like that you can just solo the game with no problems. You just have other people running all around, interfering with you and acting like assholes, but you don't have to talk to them, which is a good thing. Just like life. It's just Elder Scrolls Online is just like life. Go do your shit, make sure you do it right, and if other people interfere with you, you can just walk away from them.
Nice.
I took advantage of one of the sales and got Remember Me, which is a game I had wanted to get a few years ago. It's by Don't Nod, who ended up doing Life is Strange as their follow-up game. It's kind of an odd game. I really like the premise. It's a cyberpunk game where you wake up and you don't have most of your memories, and it turns out there's a conspiracy thing, and you can remix memories. That's one of your powers. So a lot of it's going into people's heads and rewriting their memories so that they're on your side.
Oh, that's cool.
But then there's a fighting component, which is real weird. Because the only way we want to do is run around and remix memories and do like Life is Strange is just kind of walking around picking up clues and doing your time travel thing or whatever. But this was you have these battle sequences where you're doing a weird kung fu thing, and then you have moves and you mix them like a RPG style, but with materia or whatever. But you're doing it with combo. You're setting up combos ahead of time. So it's kind of like One Button Badass, but you're doing something to make. But it's a component I didn't really want in this type of game.
Okay.
So it's kind of strange. So anyway, I'm getting used to it.
What about you, Chris?
I've been still chipping away at Prey, and the more I play Prey, the more I dislike it.
Oh, really?
It's kind of a bummer because there's a lot of aspects to Prey that I really adore. I love the setting. I love a lot of the side quests. I think combat's pretty terrible. I think there's so little ammunition in the game that I end up hitting things with a wrench, and that's just not any fun. Having said that, I'm still struggling to finish it, and I feel like the end game is pretty close. So I hope to be done with that soon. I also started Marvel Heroes Omega on the Xbox.
Now, how is that? I know that it's up on the PlayStation 4.
The Marvel Heroes Omega, it's if you take Diablo and you take Marvel Ultimate Alliance and you kind of smash them together and kind of trim them down, you have Marvel Heroes Omega. It's very simple, but I found a lot of fun doing it. It has a nice band of characters you can select from across all the pantheons of the Marvel Universe.
I know you have to pay for some of the characters, right?
Well, what they do is for example, I play as Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl costs 200 Infinity Stones. I got 200 Infinity Stones for beating the tutorial.
Okay. Okay. Now,
and you can find the others, I'm told, from just doing missions around the city.
I was thinking well, isn't that cheating to have Squirrel Girl since she's unbeatable?
She's so unbeatable. I love her.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know. Is there Hawkeye in there? But is it like
there is Hawkeye?
Okay, cool.
And there's Hawkeye, and he has a skin to be Hawkeye.
The Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Is that like t-shirt and jeans? The sunglasses?
Yeah, and the little nose doodly doo.
Nice. Oh, nice.
It's pretty cool. I was over at a friend's house, and he was showing it off to me.
Okay.
The characters they have, I saw maybe, I don't know, 40 or so different characters. X-Men, Avengers, other, just kind of floating around. And I was pretty impressed.
I might just download it and play around with it and see if I like it. Because I like Diablo-esque games, and I like the Marvel Alliance games.
The good news is it's free.
And it's free. So that's a really good thing.
There's literally no reason not to.
And since they have that Hawkeye skin, I think I'm in. Yeah.
No, I've got it. I'm probably going to tinker with it a little bit more once I beat Prey.
I know I'm giving away all my favorite Marvel characters.
Well, the thing is, can you imagine a time pre-Warren Ellis version of Moon Knight when you would have even asked that question?
No, you're right. Because
Moon Knight is not only in the game, but he has the skin where it's him in the suit.
So he can have Hawkeye and suit Moon Knight in a game? He's so playing this.
I'm so playing this. This is
pretty great.
Oh, now I want that team to happen.
Oh, that would be
some sort of weird normal clothes team.
Yeah. And Old Man Logan.
Yeah, Old Man Logan in a fucking white beard.
I don't think Old Man Logan's in the game yet.
Okay.
I'm going to download it. I'm excited.
One of Spider-Man's skins is Spider-Gwen.
Oh, okay. This is exciting. I dig this.
So there's a lot of fun character skins floating around.
And it's probably just a fun game to pick up, play for a few minutes, and go.
Yeah.
Well, you should download it on PlayStation 4 so we can play it together. Is it multiplayer co-op?
I'm not sure. I have to look into it.
You just don't play well with others, do you?
I just downloaded it on the Xbox because that's what my system that's currently running. So
okay.
Yeah. I think that's about it for this week. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Well, it was a Mattless week, so a little different show. All the people who tune
driving a U-Haul through the desert.
Yeah, I know.
Probably filled with Final Fantasy merchandise he stole.
Fucking psychopath. Driving a U-Haul through the desert. I'll call into the podcast.
Yeah, why? What? There's some
Breaker 1-9ers. Is that Chuck on?
There's Breaker 1-9er.
A lot of questions. There's a lot of unanswered questions we need to ask.
I'm telling you, it's filled with like cloud figures. There's like 5,000 cloud figures. In
Nothing but cloud.
He settled. He didn't know it was in the truck when he took it.
He just knew
it was related.
Or it could be, since Final Fantasy 12 and Zodiac Age was released, it could be all those copies of that game, and he's just transporting it.
All right. So until next week, we will be back usual time. Hopefully, Matt will be here to join us and give us video game news. I don't know what happened in video games for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, nothing. It's nothing.
I assume nothing. So
2,000 catchies, just filling up a trunk.
He's unloading copies of Lightning Returns.
Oh my god!
It's just stacked, bottom to top with Spirits Within.
Yeah, that's it.
They just got leftover copies.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. We will see y'all next week.
All right, take care.
Have a good evening.